Morning, the Amherst Township Trustees called to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Abraham?
Here.
Lynch?
Here.
Urick?
Yes.
And I am present as well. I have the July 8th regular meeting minutes from the Amherst Township Trustees. The meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. by Lynch. Pledge to the flag. Roll call, Abraham, Lynch, Urick, and Kish were present. Also in attendance, Case Marsh, L.G. Lynch, and L. Ashley. 7-125, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Urick, to approve the regular meeting minutes of June 24th, 2025 as corrected. All ayes. 7-225, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Urick, to approve public hearing minutes of June 24th, 2025 regarding a proposed amendment to the Amherst Township zoning resolution map that was initiated by application of a property owner. All ayes. 7-325, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Move to approve the financial reports and payment of items on the payment listing as presented. All ayes. Fiscal officer reported she is still waiting to hear from the state auditor on the 2022-2023 audit, waiting for the state auditor to complete their work. Under correspondence, Otarma HCA property appraisals, 7/8/25, 10:30 to 11 a.m. They were here today and everything went well. Under Loomis Fiber Construction Manager will be at the 7/22/25 meeting. Received email correspondence from RLCWA General Manager Joe Waldecker regarding costs of 2 fire hydrants on State Route 58 East Side hydrant additions. We will be receiving an invoice and the cost will come out of the fire fund. Under reports, ambulance, Sandstone Joint Ambulance District quarterly meeting Thursday, July 16th, 2025 at 11 a.m. at the Amherst Fire Station. Under zoning, the Zoning Commission approved site plans on July 1st, 2025 for a new McDonald's restaurant in the Sandstone development. Whiskeyville Roadhouse on the southeast corner of State Route 58 and State Route 113, and Pogie's Catering on the east side of State Route 58. At the next Board of Zoning Appeals meeting, they have a use variance for Ledbetter storage units on east side of State Route 58, south of State Route 113. Under roads, parks, and cemetery, all regular maintenance, running smooth. Working on a storm sewer repair, the jetter was out and we did annual preventative maintenance and a couple of sewers. Met with Otarma rep today for property appraisals. Rustic Hill Lane concrete replacement project paperwork has all been signed and ready to go. A meeting will be organized to discuss future road rehabilitation plan. Residents will participate in road rehabilitation planning. Will participate in the 2026 countywide chip and seal road rehabilitation program. 7-425, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Urick. Authorization to enter into the Ohio Public Works Commission project agreement and award bid upon full execution of OPWC agreement for Rustic Hill Lane concrete replacement project. All ayes. Township Administrator, the AEDs and shock boxes are installed at the Middle Ridge Road Park and Township Hall to meet new law requirements for organized athletic activities in the township. Installing an outside box container to put some sturdiness to the equipment and prevent theft. One signed athletic league agreement with Amherst Junior Comets football already in the cost sharing. The other 3 said they will sign and participate. Our current copier in the office is 10 years old and will no longer be able to be serviced after this year. We received 2 quotes for a new piece of equipment. Working on cemetery grant, had planned to apply for Middle Ridge Cemetery project improvement, but Department of Commerce has determined that cemeteries not having had a burial within the past 25 years are no longer eligible for grant funds. The road superintendent will contact the county engineer to determine if Kendrick Corner Cemetery roadway is eligible for countywide chip and seal resurfacing program. If eligible, it might be able to leverage a cemetery grant to help cover a portion of the cost. 7-525, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Urick. Authorization for the Township Administrator to enter into Xerox Business Solutions Agreement for the purchase of a new Xerox VersaLink C7125 multifunction printer for the office at a purchase option of $4,600 plus a $307.20 annual service agreement. All ayes. Lastly, Linda reported that a lien had been placed on 323 Deepwood for costs incurred by the township for lawn maintenance for grass and weeds that were over 6 feet tall. Complaints are being handled by the designated individual. Under new business, the next regularly scheduled meeting will be Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Amherst Township Hall. Parking on Hampshire Farms will be on hold till the homeowner association meets. 7/6/25, motion by Lynch, second by Abraham, move to adjourn at 7:57 p.m. All.
Are there any changes or corrections to the July 8, 2025 meeting minutes?
I have none.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Lynch?
Yes.
Urick?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, then you've got payment listing for the past couple of weeks' bills. There's a payroll in there. Everything is pretty much just regular monthly bills. The year-to-date revenue is $1,008,973.69.
1,008,000.
$1,008,973.69 is our revenue, and our expenditures are $656,200.85. And I also have the credit card statement was in there, all receipts accounted for. Whichever one you want to do first.
We'll do the financials first, Chris. That's the order, yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the financial reports and pay the bills as presented, and with reservations.
Second.
Urick?
Yes.
Lynch?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
The number on that, Chris?
Is 7-8. The minutes were 7-7.
You can make the next one.
I'll make a motion that the credit card account transaction detail has been reviewed per policy and the card statement is accepted as presented, subject to investigation.
Second.
Lynch?
Yes.
Urick?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
Okay, and then I would like to let you know that I have heard back from Michael, who is our
Oh,
office person for the state auditor's office, and he's leaving his employment
oh.
with them and is passing on all completed and uncompleted work to another agent who will be contacting me to complete our audit. No time frame was given.
Oh, boy.
And I also wanted to report that we did receive the $1,000 2025 more grant funds from Otarma.
Good.
I do know they're done with the county's audit, so I'm hoping things will gear back up, that we can get things finished.
Well, but he's gone, Michael's gone.
Michael's gone.
We'll see how quickly, though, the new guy,
Yeah.
be hesitant to just sign off on something that you didn't do.
I know.
Hmm.
And just as we said last time, it's almost August, and they're going to start the next one in January, so.
1,000 more grant was received.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Is there anything else?
That's all I have. Oh, yep, nope, that's it.
Okay. At this point, I'd like to welcome everyone in attendance. If you have anything to bring before the board, please raise your hand. I see Farah's on her way up.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lynch. Hello again. My name's Farah Lillian Emeka. You may remember I was here in the winter to talk to you about the fact that I'm running for Oberlin Municipal Court Judge. And so I wanted to start by saying thank you because I did well in my primary and made it to this point, and I had lots of support here in the township and throughout the jurisdiction of the court. And I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about why I believe that was. And first and foremost, it's because I'm the better candidate of the candidates that are going to be on the ballot. The general election is on November 4th. And part of the reason why I'm the better candidate is because I'm actually practicing and working in the court right now where I'm running to be the judge. I am the chief prosecutor in the court. This is my 8th year doing that. That means I'm in front of the judge that's handling cases there right now. I try jury cases in the court, bench trials, and handle all myriad different types of hearings within the court. As the prosecutor over that period of time, I've handled hundreds of cases, and I have learned how the court runs efficiently. The court runs very well at this point. There's some changes that I would make, which I'll talk about a little bit later, but not a lot that needs to change immediately upon taking the bench. And so another reason why is because I have the leadership skills in addition to the legal experience, and then I also have the right temperament. It's really important that when you're electing a judge, you're picking someone who understands the level of stress that every participant in the court system has, and handles and moves their cases in a way that does not then add on to that. And so you want to have someone with a moderate temperament that can help even the most, fearful victim or even the most angry or disturbed defendant get through a court case. And I have that experience from having been the prosecutor in the court. I've been a prosecutor now as an attorney for the entire time that I've practiced. So 8 years as the chief prosecutor in Oberlin Municipal Court and 24 years as an attorney. And all of my practicing years, I have been a public servant, working with the public, helping them to understand complex legal concepts in the course of handling child support cases, criminal cases, and the like. And then I also have a private practice where I do family law, probate and estate administration, as well as civil litigation. So I have a broad base of knowledge as an attorney in order to move into being the judge. The other reason why I feel like I was chosen is because I've taken the time to educate the folks that I talk to in the jurisdiction of the court on the court. There's lots of people who don't understand why it's called Oberlin Municipal Court, but the jurisdiction of the court is much broader than the city of Oberlin. That's simply because that's where the building is. But as you all are aware, Amherst Township is part of the jurisdiction of the court, as well as 15 other territories. Our court actually covers the whole southwestern corner of Lorain County. And so as the chief prosecutor, I actually handle cases in 13 of those 16 territories. That's the majority of the court's jurisdiction. And I understand the type of issues that are arising within the court. And so I'm prepared on day one to hit the bench and be ready to go. The other thing is, it's really important to look at the type of person and the type of work ethic the individual has that you're choosing to be judge. Those of you who know me, know that I have been in and through the jurisdiction of the court. Through the course of this campaign, I have actually shown up in every single territory in the court's jurisdiction, and that was just during the primary. And I'm continuing to get out to meet folks in the court because one of the court's jurisdiction, because one of the great things about our community, the fact that it's so tight-knit, it really means that you have the opportunity to meet the people that you are going to vote for, to meet the people that are on the ballot. And that means I have the opportunity to meet almost every person who can vote for me. And so that's been my goal. And that's why I have participated in so many different ways, just to get in front of folks who live here, to let them have the opportunity to meet me, get to know me, and really have an idea of who they're voting for on November 4th. The other thing that's really important for you to know is that I'm going to work just that hard on the bench. This is how I've handled myself within my career as an attorney. This is how I will continue to work upon being successful in my campaign. And so I'm asking for your support on November 4th. I want you to know that although there was a primary that I had to get past, when you go to vote on November 4th, there will be no party designations for the candidates on the ballot. It'll just be a name, and it'll be your opportunity to pick the person who is best qualified for the position, and I say that it's me. So I ask for your support, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you have questions for me. I know there was a question last time, but I probably covered a lot of it. What'd you say?
I have nothing to bring forward at this
Okay,
time.
thank you.
I've met you quite a few times at Lorain County Township Association.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you still on the school board?
I am still on the school board. And so my term on the school board actually ends at the same time that the current judge's term ends. And so I plan to stay on the school board until my term is up, which is December 31st of 2025. And then my hope is that on January 1st, I'll be the judge of Oberlin Municipal Court. So my time as a school board member is coming to an end.
Okay, well, good luck to you.
Thank you so very much. And I have a couple of new flyers that I'm gonna pass out really quick.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
And you don't have to stay, Farrah. Well,
Thank you. I think
but you're welcome to stay too if you'd like to. All right, we'll move on.
Thank you.
Correspondence, Chris?
I have none. other than what
David?
I have nothing to bring forward at this
I have
time.
nothing.
All right, well, I don't know what happened. We were supposed to have someone here from Lumos Fiber Internet, Richard Jocelyn, and possibly a Mark Mullins. There's the construction manager, but I don't know. They communicated through the township administrator and asked if they could come in tonight.
Well, this would be what, the third provider in the township?
Yes, they'd be a third one, but they're going to
Right.
fiber like Reese Line, David. This is where you had the opportunity to meet with Lumos when they first came to the township. I don't think you were able to meet then, but I had met with them up here outside a meeting. Now the construction manager said he wants to meet with the township, and he asked if we wanted it at the meeting or separate, and I told Linda I'd prefer he come to the meeting so it's taped and everybody can hear it and everybody's available. And tonight was the night they were to be here, so I don't know why they're not. They are already digging in Amherst, in the city. And that's what they had said over by the railroad tracks was where they were going to start. Oh, I see someone pulling in, so.
Unless that's him.
So
Or
if this
not.
is them, we'll let them get started once they come in. Beyond that, there was also, Linda received, or Kevin actually, you actually had the contact from Dove and Reber Funeral Homes about an indigent burial.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you want to address that or if you just want me to say what Linda's forwarded over based on the information you provided.
That'd be fine, because I don't have all the information.
Okay, but in any case, there is an individual that's passed on that Dovin's determined is an indigent person, and don't know if there's any family members, don't know any details, but they've contacted Linda about this, or through Kevin, indicating there may be funds available. I don't know if there is or isn't. There was for the last state fiscal year, which ended June 30th of 2025. Originally in the proposed budget, and that had $1 million put in, but that was to cover, since there was a previous year, they didn't have it, and so they were offering reimbursements for people that had already done a burial. The original proposal in the budget was $250,000 across the state. I don't know what was finally passed. I started reading through it, but it was so large, I finally said, I'm not spending all my time trying to find out if it's there. Pretty much the funeral home, embalmers, and directors would know, since that's something they would lobby for. Regardless, we are responsible if they truly are indigent individual, we are responsible for that burial and the cost of that. If the grant funds are available, and I know that the House just went through and overruled one of the governor's vetoes on replacement levies, and then it still has to get the Senate, but once that gets through, there should be the renewal of some funding, assuming they left it in there. I just don't know the amount, and the way it was set up, those funds are there till they're used up. Well, obviously, if this is early in the year, if they did put the funding there, we should be able to get some of those funds to help cover the cost. up to a maximum of $1,000, and ours isn't going to be, the $1,000. So it should cover all of our costs, Kevin, and obviously it wouldn't do it on OT or the weekend, you'd work it in. There is, though, in our policy, and Linda will follow through with that and work with the funeral home. Obviously we want proof. We don't want nope, sorry, don't have any money, bury my loved one for free type thing. So there are some steps they have to go through, but I just want to point that out. I think Linda sent that email out to all the elected officials. So you should have it in your email to read too with more detail. So another vehicle pull in, I thought it might have been our...
No, it was the sheriff.
It was a sheriff.
Okay. All right, we'll just move on to reports then. For ambulance service, the Sandstone Joint Ambulance District did meet on July 16th. We did get our first report from LifeCare with their new software, but I think they're still working out some bugs because in reviewing the reports, they had in the actual data indicating that none were beyond the 10-minute threshold that is the international standard, yet in the graph they were showing a large number of calls that were not compliant. So Kim Mason did not make the meeting, so we need them there to actually explain, what you're presenting in your report with the different documents aren't matching here. So that's still, again, it's with their new software, they may still be adjusting to it. We also, the board agreed that they want to continue looking at the cost recovery for motor vehicle accidents for individuals that are not from the township that do not pay for the service, because obviously we've got to respond. And not only do we respond with the first responder vehicle from the fire department, we also have LifeCare coming out. So, and now even with LifeCare, and Chris just had it here, we pay a monthly cost overall for the district. The total is $183,000. For Amherst Township, we spend just under $3,200 a month. That's just for the provision of the service. That's not providing any service yet. That's just to lock that in. So I had presented at the previous board meeting for the Sandstone Joint Ambulance District based on the calls in Amherst Township and what we were paying out of pocket. And most of that was, a good chunk was going actually to Amherst Fire Department First Responder Service. We were averaging $707 a call, our cost. So what we decided was, one, we need to get more data, and we also need the Village of South Amherst, which is part of the district, to present their information. So Rob Costco, who's on Amherst City Council, is the rep on the board. He's going to get the information from the fire department. Brandon Demakia is going to get all the information from the Amherst Fire Department strictly for motor vehicle accidents, and then motor vehicle accidents of people that are not township residents or property taxpayers. They're also, we decided instead of getting all the different law directors and the prosecutor's office involved, is first the city of Amherst is going to work through their law director as far as some of the questions we had. One is we would need a billing service to do this, and I had presented 3 different billers that I had got from the OTA conference. There's actually a 4th one that is used by Carlisle Township. It might be, I'm not sure now if it's Carlisle or Columbia Township, but one of the other townships, and that's the one that Amherst Fire Department prefers because it is all part of their software, so it'll all interlink. Whereas the other 3, they're not sure if theirs will work as seamlessly, and they're also concerned because of the size of the entity. Will they continue, or will they have a situation where they're concerned that they go out of business and now you're stuck trying to get somebody else. So we're not sure if this needs to be publicly bid or if we can just select who would be the biller for motor vehicle accidents. So that's one thing to find out from First, we're going to work through the Amherst Law Director. Once we've got his opinion, we'll get that off to the County Prosecutor's Office. And then the village will check with their Law Director. The other situation was we wanted to make sure that any fund recovery, because obviously the billing service will take a percentage off the top, but that we want that to go back into the EMS fund. And we wanted to, hopefully, between the prosecutor and law directors, they will write the appropriate legislation for that. And we don't want a thing, even with future elected officials, where they decide to use those funds, possibly just putting them into the general fund where they can go for anything. If we're billing for EMS, we want it to fund EMS.
Something to think about, is it possible to put a surcharge on for collection if you have to?
That's a good point, David. It probably would be what we would have. We want to make it just based on an average, and we'll probably have to look at that internal cost, is it's just a fixed amount. You don't want to be going like, well, this time we had 3 people respond, this time we only had 2, because, the vehicle we use from the fire department, assuming no washdown, can hold 4. Typically, you put in 2, if it's simple. If there's a motor vehicle accident, you're sending the truck, well, we're not paying for our tanker. If we have to get something else, obviously, it's another $500, but typically we don't. So our tanker would come out, but now you're adding additional fire personnel. Say you got to do a washdown, you got to sweep the street, you got to pick up the pieces. They need the jaws of life. Life Care doesn't have the jaws of life. The fire department does have equipped with the jaws of life. So you're probably right, but it's just going to come down to one number once we get it set, David. And that's why we need to get data. How much is this going to involve? We do not want to have high administrative costs where we just say it's not worth it. We're not even going to do it. We just have to eat the cost and accept that's the cost of doing business. So it's till we get that data, but I'll bring that up at the next meeting. Which our next meeting will be, well, we don't have it set. Brandon's going to get it out. I had it in there as potentially August, but I don't think he'll have the information by August. Okay? But that's it on ambulance as far as what's going on. Okay, we'll move on. Zoning Inspector, Ryan Valentin.
Yes, so year-to-date, we have 53 new homes. Year-to-date, we've collected $64,040.40, and park fees is $11,250.
Thank you. And Chris, that's the park fee, probably, it just goes to the general fund. Do you have something with a sub-account or some way to keep that separate?
Yep, it is
Okay.
separate.
Good.
After that, that's all to report.
Are there any questions for Ryan?
No, I have no questions.
I do appreciate the report, because that's 3 more than we had at the last report then.
Zoning Commissioner?
Yeah, I'm not sure, David, I'm not aware of anything new on the Zoning Commission's agenda right now. The BZA does have at their next meeting, they have the Ledbetter storage.
Yes.
That's up at the next meeting. How about the one for the trucking firm? Will that be in the August meeting?
So it'll probably be the August meeting. I completed that packet today and sent that out to Bill.
What's the date on the Ledbetter?
24th.
August?
Which is
No, July. That's
July.
Thursday.
Thursday
Yes.
coming, okay.
Yeah, that'd be, David, I don't know, it's referred to as man caves or what you want to call them. They're talking about environmental conditioning and heating in these little storage units.
Like
Yeah,
apartments.
they keep changing their definition of this mini storage unit. So
That's one you're going to have to watch. This is not a residential living situation.
Right.
What's to keep somebody from living there?
that's why we got to make sure they don't put
Zoning inspector
sewer in.
or an interested trustee. I still remember the old, which were almost shacks that used to be up off Colorado, which, they even looked like chicken coops, but the old days, people used to live there. I remember growing up on some of the farms that we had. There was no electric, there was toilets, and people lived there. Okay, not anymore, but they did. Okay, fire prevention not here. Roads, parks, and cemeteries, Superintendent Smarsh.
Right now, Dovin Land Works is brush cutting right-of-ways on Middle Ridge Road and on Dewey Road, and there's a section of Stang that they'll be doing. The county is painting the fog lines and center lines of the designated roads that we had a bid. They estimated it back in February. So right now, as of today, they're working on that. I would think they'll be done by the end of the day tomorrow. But mostly it's going to be on the west side. Oberlin Road North was completed today, and they had a couple of other things they were going to do when they were on this side of town, but tomorrow they'll be on the west side, which would be Middle Ridge Road, west of Pile. Rice Road, that was crack sealed, so that's going to get done from Quarry Road to the Brown Elm Township line. And then Middle Ridge Road from the Amherst line to Quarry Road, that'll be done as well.
Okay, good. That wasn't striped when it was last resurfaced?
Which one?
The one going from Amherst to Quarry.
From Amherst to, yeah, that was done in 17 or 18.
Okay. Yeah, be wearing off.
Yep. Yeah, it was definitely getting slim. We mounted the AED box at the park.
Okay, good.
Linda has the pictures, and she was going to end up doing what she needed to do. We mounted it on that shed, and it's up a foot and a half off the concrete. Kind of keep it up. We reinforced the back on the inside. We went from the stringers inside the shed there, outside with some more 2x4s, painted 2x4s, and then lagged it all the way through the shed. So we reinforced the inside of that box. So it's got a lock on it. Not saying that nobody can get into it, but
Yeah, you can cut through those things, but you're really going to have to work at it.
yeah, definitely.
It's just like your car's not safe. Someone can go out there with a portable Sawzall and take your converter. It happens all the time.
Right. Yeah, but it is mounted. It's up off getting out of the moisture, getting out of the grass, getting out of the dirt there. So that one's done. A little bit of reinforcement we're going to do and figure out where we're going to end up putting the one here at the township.
Okay, good. Yeah, and I think we discussed with the trustees before that you just signed the one agreement for softball, but essentially the one for the coaches that are coaching across the street, they've got to come in, and even down the park, they'll have the code, unlock it, and they'll have the AED with them during practice and game. So it's immediately right there. I missed it on the news. I was going to send a link to you guys where I found some communities what they're doing. You literally have to call 911 to get a code to unlock the box to get the AED. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose. Timing is everything. So I like the approach we took. I think it's simpler. But can somebody end up walking off? Well, sure, if somebody gives out the code. But we'll be changing those codes on an annual basis. So coaches should know don't give it out, and I think most of them will be responsible for it. Interestingly enough, Kevin, I did send, Linda, I was up at Catawba Township. Now, they're under 5,000 residents, but that's, realize they get huge number of visitors, that go up the vacation up there. And they obviously, I don't know where their funding comes from. They've got to have deeper pockets than we have, because they have a huge park. They've got basketball, separate pickleball courts, separate tennis courts, soccer fields, baseball fields, huge building with flush toilets. I assume somebody's responsible for locking and unlocking, because they were open, you could use them, but they have their AED mounted right there also. I didn't want to open the box. It seems like you can just open it, because I wasn't sure if alarms would go off or photos would be taken, but it looks like they had a wire strap to it, so I wasn't sure how that was fastened without opening the box, but it was interesting that they have their AED up. But beautiful park, beautiful and huge. And they've got a separate park board also, because they even had some acknowledgement where they get some grant funding to help, because obviously now the park board is dedicated to just taking care of the park. And we've tried to do that here. It's just difficult to get people, the volunteers, that are strongly interested. I suspect, reading it, a good number of their board members were spouses of fire personnel, because they also have, there's a fire department. So that makes it a little easier to get volunteers. But, okay. Are there any questions for Kevin?
No, I have no questions.
Okay. Just so you guys are aware, and we discussed this at a previous meeting, you're welcome to attend if you'd like to. It's probably going to be a 7:30 a.m. meeting. We have had some residents that have expressed interest in getting involved in our road maintenance and recovery as far as some direction. Obviously, they've got concerns where they live and think more needs to be done. I explained to them that when we look at it, it's a township overall. So Kevin's going to be going out and marking the roadways that he thinks are the ones that most likely will be required to have some attention. We are pretty good as far as our main roads now. Looking at what we've got done, we do have some that we'll probably have for chip and seal next year. We didn't do this year based on when we last did them. But this is similar to, if you guys recall, we all went out and we literally ranked the different spots of the roadways. It's the same form. We'll let these residents get involved in doing the same thing. So Kevin and I will be setting up a meeting date. That's obviously not set yet, but it'll also have to be when these residents that are interested can make it too. So I'll let you know by email or text when we're getting together. If you choose to show up, you can. We'll just be meeting here at the township, but it's not really necessary. If you want a copy, I've got a few extra copies, but I'd like to just have these. I've got 4 of them, so I've got 3 extra. I'm hoping that if there's 3 residents, I can give each one of them a copy. Okay, but I could obviously email this to you if you want it. It's basically just a listing of all our roads, when they were last resurfaced for any of them that are hot mix or chip and seal roads. I did not, for the concrete roads, since we do that kind of patchwork, did not put a from to address in what's been done over the last 20 years, but it does give an estimate of the cost for the maintenance of those roads based on what our most current public bids have been for the road work that we've been doing. Okay. All right, as far as, we'll move on, Lorco, you have in your packet, if you probably would have seen the announcement in the Chronicle, is the $67.5 million roughly that the county was able to receive in grant funds from the All Ohio Future Fund. That fund is now depleted. It's not been renewed in the new state budget. This is where I've mentioned before with the Lorain County Rural Wastewater District. that they are participating in this regional effort for the provision of sanitary sewers because the county knows they can't get the economic development without the sanitary sewers and water. Most of the area we have water, but we don't have sanitary sewers. Would have been at the same time we were going through the negotiation of our current ambulance contract, the Sandstone Joint Ambulance Board meeting. There was a meeting at Lorraine County Community College that included the county and all of the cities that are considered a designated management agency because they have a wastewater treatment facility. So, you know, the major ones like Avon Lake, Lyria, Lorraine, City of Amherst, and then some of the smaller ones such as Grafton and LaGrange and whatnot, and North Ridgeville also, and they were brought together to look at gauge their interest in getting a regional program in the provision of sanitary sewers. And that started out with a lot of promise. Since then, though, because as anything, when it gets politics involved, there's always somebody who wants to be in control or have a weighted vote, if you will. So ultimately, what's come down to is, for the most part, you've got now Avon Lake, Lorraine County, Lorco, and Vermilion's obviously got a strong interest in this, but those three entities are looking at forming an additional 6119, and right now it'd just be predominantly the western portion of Lorraine County. Vermilion, obviously, their main thing is because they are under EPA findings and orders, and for them to do the upgrade to their wastewater treatment plant, they've estimated $76 million. Now, $67.5 million sounds like a lot of money, but to put this in perspective, the transmission line that Lorco put in that covers Eaton Township, Carlisle Township, and runs up to Avon Lake's wastewater treatment plant, that was $32 million. It's all said and done. So, you know, put that in perspective, this is nice, but it's not going to cover the whole western portion of the county. And I can't tell you because I am not privy to the details of what's all included here. The Lorco Executive Director, Gene Toy, has been involved in the detailed meetings with the various entities here, and they had to sign non-disclosure agreements. We've only had one executive session with the county this year, and we're to have a meeting, our August meeting at Lorco. I was told at the July meeting, expect a much longer meeting because the county would be coming in to now discuss more of the details and start disclosing some of the things that Gene could not disclose to the Lorco board. I don't know if that meeting, when the county comes in, if that's going to be an open discussion during the regular meeting, or if they're still in a situation where they do an executive session. Obviously, at that time, they had locked up this funding, but this funding was supported by Senator Nathan Manning, our local House Rep Gail Manning, and Kelly Dieter, who also is a rep for a portion of Lorraine County. I imagine that Joe Miller supported too, but I did not check the actual vote, but I know he is aware of it and has been aware of it as it's been going on. So how is this going to impact Amherst Township? Well, you know, their main focus is a mega site to bring in jobs, and they're talking the surrounding Lorraine County Airport. Well, that's right on our border. And we also know there's the 600 acres in our township, 900 acres approximately overall for the quarry development, which is on the west side. So this definitely, if this comes through, you can see the potential impact here on our township. So it's, there may be more to provide in the future. It's just, as I said, with the non-disclosures that have been signed, I have not been aware of it, made aware of the details on this, even though I serve as the Vice President of Lorco Board. So hopefully we'll have more information come August. But now there is funding, and you know, you can have a lot of discussions, do a lot of studies, but until you have the money to put it in place, nothing's going to happen. Okay, we'll move on to, I have nothing, let's see, for the Phase 2 stormwater management, we do that in the second meeting also. All I can say is that the last Thursday at Lorraine County Township Association meeting, we also had the annual meeting for the Lorraine County Stormwater District. For the most part, Don Romankak and Lynn Ickes covered all of the projects that are currently open. They're aware of the at-house ditch projects that we have received approval for and grant funding, but we're still waiting on getting some of the easements. There's also, I think I mentioned at a previous meeting, that a group of residents that have the Quarry Creek flooding situation there on Middle Ridge and also on Rice Court, that's raised up again to level where they really want help because it's just flooding their yards there. And so there is going to be a meeting actually in one of the residents' homes. I haven't gotten that off to Don yet to lock him up on that, but we gave him the option of meeting here at the township or in their home. We didn't want to drag them down to the county administration building. Don's made it clear, he gave me a series of dates and times when he could be available. They met one of those dates. So we will actually be meeting to see go over the options of what can be done to try and alleviate that. And we may be, Kevin, then applying for a grant, depending upon how that discussion goes moving forward. This is a situation, since it doesn't flood our roads, the township can't contribute any funds to it of township funds. But we got to find out between the district itself should be able to, because these people are obviously paying or, you know, their stormwater fees on their property tax bill. Okay, if there's no questions, we'll move on to complaints. And the two that are open, obviously, the one, cleaning of the ditch on State Route 113, I think ODOT's a little late. They said that it'd be late spring or early summer. Well, we're kind of in there and it's still not clean, but they've assured me that's going to be done. And then the next one, we received a written complaint through the website, but I know Linda indicated Kevin already took care of it the day it happened, and that was a speed limit sign that got knocked over on Berry Ridge. So we can cross that off. Kevin has that done, but still for Mr., I believe it's pronounced Krugman, and whoever else called in, it always helps when the residents have more eyes than we do, and Kevin got right on that. Okay, we'll move on to reports. I already gave Lorco.
Neil,
Yeah.
I did receive a call from an individual, and I asked that he turn in a complaint form. I don't see one here, so I don't think that he did. But he referenced the ditch on the west side of, I believe, Balsam Drive in the back, the ditch that outlets for Hidden Valley, a good portion of Hidden Valley, and that it was starting to grow up again. And that was cleaned out, I would say, what, maybe close to 30 years ago, maybe? It was cleaned out maybe in the 90s. And before the last section of Hidden Valley / Hillside was approved as part of the conditions of approval for that subdivision was to clean out the outlet for there by Balsam Drive, which was experiencing flooding at the time. And so that's the last time it was cleaned out, and it's something we may want to keep an eye on. Now, like I said, they didn't turn in a formal complaint, but it's something we I think do want to be aware of. But that ditch is there and it has to be kept in good working condition because it drains a good portion of the Hidden Valley area, and it could be prone to flooding. So we want to make sure that that's kept open. Just like that small ditch that crosses Overland Road, drains a corner, the Hidden Valley. Well, this takes the main that runs down the center of cobblestone, fieldstone, oakstone toward the back. That's the one that takes that. So but it's less about the person that called and made the complaint or the comment than it is to us as a board to keep an eye on it. It's something we need to keep an eye on it. It's out of sight, out of mind many times, and but it is a major outlet, and it's something we want to keep an eye on, just like, we keep an eye on like Batten House and the ditch that outlets crosses Oberlin Road. We see those all the time, but this is back there. Just because we don't get complaints on it all the time doesn't mean it's not there, and doesn't mean it doesn't have to be.
But you have the contact information for the individual, David.
That, I probably do if I check back.
If you encourage them to send in the complaint, I can tell you the written documentation helps. When you apply.
Oh, I do too. That's why I asked him to. But I just, in our travels, I just want to keep that in the back of our
I
minds.
assume the clean out was done by the developer,
I believe it was,
and
yeah.
that was just a one-time
Yeah.
condition for the development. Nothing
Yeah.
was set up front.
I think any easements on it were temporary and just,
So there's no permanent easement either. Okay, all right. Well, if you can encourage them to put something in writing, that
Yeah.
will actually help. Thank you. Okay, the other items that you have direct responsibility for, is there anything else to bring before the board?
No, the next regular meeting is August
No new
12th.
business?
nothing else.
Okay, yes, our next regular board meeting will be at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, August 12th. And as I said, Kevin and I will be working to meet with some residents here to go over our road plan for the future years. We don't have any audience concerns. There's no need for an executive session.
No.
Okay, then can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Urick,
Yes.
Abraham,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.